Shubor nakaslem jong unongsan Hima.
Ka menteri katanat kakuat kakya kakong amperin lingdo habakren bat kinong thok khobor halor ki samla puli doktor na kajala kalau ong ki samla puli doktor na kajala kidan kumba khandai phau handriungut bat manla ukhana kilet ban pule daga jingbei tingka omdon ka jinglut na kajala ka jinglut baka sorkar pedeng ka baha ka detang ka baibam kala benrap baka don ka jingslam ban pelat ya ka baibam jong kini ki samla puli doktor bat kidang shuyo ya ka mang tingka kin sapelat ya ka kakong amperin kala benrap ru da ka baong baka jingdon jong ki samla puli ka pher na ka wei ka snam shaka wei pat namar ka shong ha ka jingdon ki jaka ka sorkar ka persyang ban wat banyak ya ka jingdon jong ki doktor ka sorkar Meghalaya ka don ni ka jingthmu bandang yo shu ya ki jaka ha ki jaka puli ban pha shu ya ki samla puli doktor habaya dei baka jingya soy ya ka so skular ka menteri kala ya thu baka don ka jingpet banyak na ka por shaka por
kept it pending, especially in the assembly, on the number of students that we sponsored and how many of them came back. Do we have the figures right now?
In the last MBBS seat allotment, the total number of seats allotted, if my memory does not fail me, is about 96. And each of these candidates have gone on a sponsored seat, no cost incurred. The only additional cost against these vacancies allotted to the state of Meghalaya by the centre would be the scholarship payments to students who apply for these scholarships. There was a recent delay in the release of scholarships of MBBS students, which I have been briefed about and I am being informed has already been released. So on an average, we send this many number of students. Number of seats changes from year to year depending on availability of seats by the central government pool of seats. So more or less, on an average, these are the numbers of seats. Certain years we get more because we also get seats to these private institutions. Even they, say for example in the state of Assam, they now have a lot of state pool seats. So if they have excess seats, they again allot these seats to various states. So number of medical seats for MBBS is something which changes every annual allotment.
We have produced a lot of MBBS doctors, specialists. Where are they now?
Now we have tried our best. We have tried our best to have a data relating to the return of MBBS doctors to the state after the completion of their courses. Now that number is not available with me right now, but more or less on an average, department is aware of the location of some of these doctors. Most of these doctors again have to go for the NEET examination for PG. In fact, government of Meghalaya is contemplating on an idea of proposing to the government a possibility of blocking or buying more medical seats for the people of the state of Meghalaya. Because if you as a government invest on this, then likely the numbers of doctors coming back will be increased. But as of today, the signing of bond is again something which has always been reviewed from time to time. And it is binding on students to inform the government as to whether or not they are returning, why are they not returning, where are they now, what are the courses that they're undergoing. So these are some of the things that are happening, and unfortunately you cannot force a student who has paid a bond to return to the state to serve. We can debate on this. I'm not saying that it is something that cannot be made more stringent. But over the years, From what I have been briefed, the bond has been increased. Students are paying the bond. And in recent years, especially, we have become more stringent in our signing of these undertakings from students. But if a student is saying that he or she is pursuing a higher education, you cannot say don't pursue the education. Not possible, because every doctor, after clearance of the MBBS examinations, have to report. Earlier, we didn't have a state. We did not have a state registry. So some of our doctors were registering in other states. Now we have our own medical board, which is registering, and it is now being made compulsory. Up to a few years ago, we didn't even have a board. So certain doctors, after they've cleared their MBBS, register with that state board. Now it is something that we are going to do. We have to tell the doctors to come and register with our own board.
Habede ba gajingdon ki doctor ki ba Siew no ya Jingpynlut ka Sorkar na kalyang ka menteri ka layathu ba gajingdon kini ki doctor ka penlong ya ka Sorkar ban wat banya halor kane ka ka ba penlong ya ki ban le kumne shu ka loong ba ka Sorkar kan saya kendu bat ki doctor banya keran halor kini ki mat ngin kring ya ki bakin wan phai byang shaka jala.
We have mulled with this idea again and again and again. I do not have the latest amount that is due for exemption of bond and repayment of bond to government. I will do that homework and I can tell you.
Is there any provision that they are ready to pay the bond? And why should you sponsor if they are capable of paying 50, 60,
Yes.
70 lakh? Why should you sponsor? That means they are not poor.
So the point here is that all of this has been a tradition in the government. Now I need to look at why these things have not been done, and we need to figure out a way forward. But to begin with, I was told that the first biggest hurdle was the registry of doctors in the Meghalaya board. But now it is there.
So
We are making these registries compulsory.
This is after the
So,
NMC,
After
no?
NMC.
so
These are all, like I told you, situations where doctors have been given this liberty in the past. Whether we can change this and make it binding is something else. That decision we need to take in consultation with the community of doctors themselves first. They have their own, what do you call them? They have their own associations. We need to sit and discuss these matters in a more productive manner. It's not that we should target these doctors. The point here is that lure them into coming back to the state and make state provisions also attractive. That is why we keep talking about so many components of groups of various what do you call those things, service rules. So the service rules need again and again to be reviewed from time to time. I don't know when the last service rule was actually reviewed, whether or not we've had meetings with the Doctors Association of the state of Meghalaya. See, these are all very sensitive matters, and we cannot single-handedly take these decisions. It's always going to be productive.
Ma'am, as per NMC. Huh.
Yes.
So, in this case, this will be henceforth or from how many
No
years?
decisions have been taken. We are yet to start this consultation. These are sponsored by Government of India. It is a state where they go and study that is actually sponsoring them. So all of these details have to be chalked out. We need to sit, we need to talk, and yes, it is an important concern. We need to also see what needs to get done there. Over and above that, perks of doctors have to be reviewed. So many things have to be reviewed.
But don't you think it is better because these sponsors, then they cannot avoid the state because they have to, after completion, they have to register with the state and
So
get
now-
their certificate?
Prospectively, those decisions will be more binding.
Okay.
Obviously, All this while, we didn't even have a registration in the state. So even nurses, we were having that problem. So now things are shaping up. We are reviewing our own systems first, making the changes in our own systems first, and we have to handhold all stakeholders. Government alone in isolation cannot take a decision which is going to be against the interest of our own citizens. We will be reviewing this matter. Let us see what happens in the near future, and then we will review.
Ma'am, this
To my knowledge, it was quite recently. I think it was 25 lakhs, if I remember correctly.
25 or 40?
Was it 25, 40? I'm not sure. I have to fill in with correct information before making a statement. But again, these bonds have just recently been reviewed, not very long ago. I think it was 3 or 4 years
Yes.
back, if I remember correctly. I don't have the numbers, but I know that not very long ago this review was taken.
Citizen first is our motto. We believe that our citizens need to be connected with government for faster and efficient service delivery. I am happy to announce that we are coming up with a dedicated CM helpline call center